Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Happy Saturday. I hope your weekend is starting off positively. I had a good week, my first full week of retirement. It just felt like a week off. Maybe as the months go on, it'll feel more like retirement. So I was kind of busy. Went to Lakeland, had a visit with my daughter. Had breakfast with some friends of mine Thursday. Just motivating here. So it was fine weekend. So my 2-cycle vintage motorcycle guru, my buddy Matt from Manatee County, including Holmes Beach, Anna Maria Island, Samoseto, Nico, Lakewood Ranch, Mayaca City, and Duet, stopped by. He ended up taking the Coleman 200. I helped him load it on the truck, so I owe my scrapper $100. So I told him it kicked off with a shot of nitro, so he didn't seem too concerned. If he can salvage a couple of submerged Honda scooters from Hurricane Irma, the Coleman's not going to be any issue. So I showed him this one. He didn't seem to be too interested because the exhaust is missing. So I kind of looked these up. There's aftermarket high performance exhausts for these things that you can buy. And the stock exhausts for these are like 20 to 25 bucks. So I'm a cheap shade tree mechanic. I had looked around at my 2-cycle stuff. I took off this exhaust hoping it would work, but it's a rectangle here. So I'm going to keep looking around. Maybe I can find something for this one. So I figured I would mess around with this a little bit. So my first deal was taking the bowl off. There was some stinky, varnishy gas in the bowl. So I decided to take the tank off because the tank had some rust in it, but it seemed to be dry. So maybe I'll do a little apple cider vinegar for a few hours on this one and then rinse it out really good. So I decided to check valve clearance since I was in this far. The reason I took the recoil off is I was looking for specs because I noticed they had spark plug gap, oil weight, idle speed. I was looking for the valve lash, 87 octane. But it must have been over here and it got knocked off maybe. This is a 2023. So it says it's a Dreamer, Dreamma. So there were some numbers on here which I ran. And this happens to be 105 cc. Yeah, I ran these numbers and they mean something. The 154 Frank -3. This style engine, if you put 154 Frank without the -3, it comes back this style engine, 105 cc or a 98 cc. It's a standard engine, and that's what that 154 Frank represents, is this overhead valve style horizontal shaft engine. but they were kind of expensive, like maybe 130 on AliExpress plus shipping. The Honda clones, which are like 7 horse, are cheaper than these. This is just a 3.5 horse. The 105.3 cc equals about 3.5 horsepower. So, as I mentioned before in previous video, valve lash on these is kind of important. A lot of people don't pay attention to valve lash. I worked on some 49cc scooters. People just drive them into the ground, and after about 1,500 miles, the valves need to be adjusted. They'll start running badly, and people think it's a crappy Chinese engine. But if they adjusted the valves, it would correct the non-running or bad running issue. So I went on Reddit and found that somebody said the intake is 3 thousandths and exhaust 4 thousandths, and these are way off. These are like 7 or 8 thousandths. There's a lot of adjustment that needs to be made on these things. So like I said in the first video, I had put oil in this. I couldn't pull it over, and it finally broke through. I let the oil sit overnight, and I just checked it when Matt was here. We got compression. It didn't feel like I had compression, so the valves must have loosened up overnight after I had let the used oil sit on the cylinder. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep messing with this, even though it's not mine, but I may buy it. He wants 100 for it. So this Moose Racing, this isn't a Moose Racing. Moose Racing is just a parts seller. They sell high performance motorcycle parts. So I put the company name of this thing down below on yesterday's video, and I'll do it again today. But it looks like the engine maker is Dreama. I didn't look up that. All I looked up is the 154 Frank-3. That's probably the serial number. That bottom number is the production number. So I think we can do something with this. I may even go bananas and take the carb off and ultrasonic clean it. So just had somebody show up. You guys have a good day today. Thank you. How you doing?